8th round, white piece against Gukesh, and I decide to play the move e4. We get e5, knight f3, knight c6, and now I go for one of my childhood favorites, which is the Scotch opening with pawn to d4. Gukesh trades, and now he plays move knight f6. In the recent Grand Chess Tour event, I believe in Romania, Gukesh played the move bishop to c5 against the Frenchman Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, and he got crushed. As such, I was not super surprised to see Gukesh switch it up and play the move knight f6, but definitely I was a bit disappointed as I didn't have a great idea. So I go knight c3. We got bishop b4, takes, bishop d3, castles, d5, and now I take the pawn on d5. Now I have played the Scotch 4 Knights with some success in recent years. I beat Fabiano Caruana in the Isle of Man in 2023 in a very, very critical game. That being said, if your opponent is ready for this setup, you usually don't get a lot of play. Now here Gukesh plays the move bishop g4. This is considered to be the most forcing variation. After pawn takes pawn and a move like h3, the game goes on, but in general, black will have to find some resources. So we get bishop g4. I play f3, bishop h5, bishop g5, and now Gukesh takes the pawn on d5. Now, all of this has been seen in top-level play. As I mentioned in the confessional booth during the game, this position, which we reach in the game here after queen to e5 and queen d6, was played in the 2024 candidates where Gukesh was participating. Of course, he would eventually win the tournament, so I expected him to be familiar with this game between Nepo and Fabiano. So I go knight e7, king h8, queen to e2, and this is where Gukesh spends 30 minutes before playing the move rook a b8. Now I suspect that Gukesh knew this position is completely equal, and he just sort of saw a ghost here. He thought that after the best move, bishop g6, which was played in the game between Fabiano and Nepo, that after takes in this position, Black's king maybe could be a little bit weak here. These pawns are a little bit soft. They're opposite color bishops here. Maybe white could be better. Computer doesn't think it's anything special after queen f6, but when Gukesh spent 30 minutes before playing this move rook a to b8, I knew that he was a little bit uncomfortable. So after rook b8, I go queen to e4, lining up the double A battery. If black were to take the rook, there's queen h7 checkmate, and it's GG, why not? Gukesh plays bishop g6. I take the bishop, and now Gukesh decides to play his move f takes g6. Now, this move is a huge mistake, and I'm going to be honest. When I saw this move at the board, I did not understand what on earth Gukesh was thinking. Now, what I think happened for Gukesh in this game is that he simply missed my idea, regardless of how he captures a knight. If he were to capture the h-pawn, I'm going to go g3 and king g2 here with the idea of h4 and h5 to try and attack on the diagonal. But when Gukesh takes with the f-pawn, I think he just missed this g3 concept altogether, because once I trade the rooks and go g3, black is in all kinds of trouble, primarily because you cannot mobilize these pawns. If you ever push this one, you get mated. If you push this one, you hang the pawn, which means these pawns are frozen out of the game on the diagonal, and that also means that I have ideas like h4 and h5, just to give you guys a sample line, just setting up the position, where I attack the pawns here. Additionally, there are also threats with queen to e8 and an ice skater checkmate, as black can never create the lift for the king, as you would hang the pawn. So in general, this whole position after g3 is simply bad, and I spoke to my second, Chris Littlejohn, after the game, and he said that according to the computers, this is actually technically lost for black due to this very, very bad pawn structure on the king side. So, Gukesh plays move rook f8, I go king g2, we get bishop b6, and now I play the move h4, trying to play h5 and launching the assault on the king side. Gukesh plays queen c5, and now I play the move f4. Now, after I go f4, I've basically gotten rid of any potential weaknesses on the king side here. The pawns are very stable. I can look to play h5. I can look to play on the e file. But most importantly, this is a dream. There is no counterplay for black. It's one-way traffic. I can never lose the game, and all I'm going to do is enjoy the big time advantage, enjoy the moment, and try to put pressure on my young opponent. So, Gukesh plays move queen f5, and this is where I spent a lot of time before playing the move queen to c4. Initially, in this position, I wanted to trade the queens and take the juicer, because if black were to capture the bishop, there's rook e8, and you get the classic ice skater checkmate. The king has no squares available. But I decided against this primarily because after g6, bishop d3, and rook f7, white has an extra pawn, and white probably should be winning technically, but due to the opposite color bishops in this position and the fact that Gukesh will be able to play a lot of moves very quickly, I wasn't so convinced that I should go for this, because even if it's technically winning, Gukesh will never suffer on the clock. And that's why I play the move queen c4, because even though I don't take the free pawn, Gukesh will now have to find more moves. There's no straight setup in order to try and defend the position, and it's just miserable to play. So Gukesh goes queen f6. Now I play the move rook to e5, creating this great outpost for the rook. It can swing in any direction here. It's supported by the pawn chain. And already at this moment, I had a feeling that I should be winning the game. So Gukesh plays queen d6. Now I play the move c3, and this is the move that I wasn't sure if I should play. I really didn't know what I was aiming for in this game, because one of the lines that I saw was something like queen e4, takes, rook d5, bishop b6, and after something like rook d7, I have this nice kebab on the 7th rank, but I wasn't 100% sure if this was winning by force. Now, a computer thinks it's winning, and probably I would have won this if it had occurred in the game, but without being 100% sure, I don't want to go into an endgame where Gukesh can simply create a setup and wait forever. So I go c3, taking away the d4 and c5 squares from the queen and the bishop here. And now we get the move queen a3. I play king h3, we get queen d6, and here I do a little bit of a dilly-dally. I play a repetition twice before playing this move queen e4. The reason for this is that I spent a ton of time trying to make this h5 move work, but after queen c1 with the infiltration with the bishop and the queen here, I wasn't sure if this was going to be a clean win. Now, computer, of course, laughs. It says you can take, and after check, king f3, check, king g4. The white king is very safe here, but again, without knowing, why do I want to put my king in a precarious situation where if I miss a move, I might lose the game? So I do the dilly-dally repetition, and then I play queen to e4 back, lining up the double stack, but also the double A battery on the file. We get the move bishop c5 from Gukesh. Gukesh understands here that this bishop looks really nice guarding the pawns, but it's on the wrong side of the board. What black ideally wants is something like this, where the bishop is near the rook, guarding everything. If the bishop is all the way on b6 here, it's guarding the pawns, but it's not doing a whole lot else because there's nothing on this diagonal. So Gukesh plays the move bishop c5. I play king g2. We do more repetitions here, and I decide to play the move h5, trying to launch the attack on the king side. So I play this move h5 here, trying to rip open the king side. Gukesh plays queen